Okay, in this training video, I'm going to show about patient statements. Okay, how do you generate patient statements? Maybe statements at the end of the month, print them out, and send them out. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's log in as usual here. Okay, let's go straight to the billing. Okay, and now to generate patient statements, basically you have to go to the patient menu here. Okay, and these are the two things to basically that are related to the patient statements. Okay, the first thing you need to do is go to the balance here. Okay, and what this screen is allowing you to do is basically as this here suggests. Oh, there's a typo here. Okay, well, so what this is going to do is this is the patient balances screen, and it's going to allow you to filter all your patients based on their balances. Okay, so let's go through some of these fields here, and that'll give you an idea. For example, you can find out the patients which have case type as cash. So all your cash patients, you can just filter them out and find out the balances. Okay, so that's one filter. Or you can say, I want to get the balances which are actually only greater than zero, meaning basically I just want to find out the balance, patients which have a real balance as opposed to credits. Now the same thing can be used in another way. You can say, well, let me find out sort of the balance, or actually the credits, for all my prepaid patients. So if the balance is less than or equal to zero, if you put in, which means I want to find out the credits, all patients which have credits, and find that out. Okay, so let's just take a simple example here, and I'm going to kind of run the patient statement without any filters, and you will see the patient balances. Okay, here is important thing I forgot, and this is an important thing that I want to point out. Here is another filter, which is generate patient statements. And I'm going to show you by default. This is a setting at the patient level. By default, we set this to no, meaning you don't want to generate patient statements for every patient. So I'm going to just change this to no. Okay, and then run this. Okay, and you will see that you have it brings up a list of balances for the patients. Let me change this to 2007, for example. Let's just do a quick run here, and then it pretty much gets the entire list of patients and their balances. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. See, some patients have credits, so you would be able to just get a list of these by putting less than or equal to 0. If you put that, it's going to just pull up all the credits. Or if you put greater than or equal to, let's say, 0.1, then it's going to get all the positive balances only. Okay, or let's say you want to send out patient statements where the balance is at least $5, something like that, right? Then you would use this kind of criteria. Okay, and I'm going to come to this a little bit at the end of it, but this is right now, like I said, we have set this to no for all patients by default. So just make sure to change this to, instead of yes, to no, and then run your patient balances. Okay, so typically at the end of the month, what you would do is you will sort of change this to no, and then run all the patient balances. Okay, so these are all your patients with their balances. Then you would, as usual, do a select all. So based on the balances, what you're going to do is you're going to generate statements. Okay, so you can either select specific patients, like I want to have only these 3 patients, or you can say select all. Well, there needs to be an unselect all also button there, but it's not there. Okay, so I just did. So let's do these 3. Okay, so what you would do to generate statements is select these 3 and then click generate statement. Okay, so what it's going to do is it says data saved successfully. What that means is for these 3 patients, you saw the balances and now you generated the statements. Okay, so step 2 is now go to the statements. Okay, and then let's find the statements that we just generated. As you will see these 3, because we had checked 3, and it says statement date on, which is today. Okay, now you couldn't, if you say on or before, it's going to pull up all your statements that you generated previously. Okay, so that's what it pulls up, the statements and all that. And now here you can print out all these 3 by just doing check all here, select all, and say view print. Okay, and this is what's going to bring up the patient statements in a printable fashion here. And you can just print them out basically and send them. Okay, so here you go. Here is the patient statement. This is for the first patient. This is the first patient here. Okay, so let me go back here. Okay, and so it's going to show all the, this is the second patient here. It's going to show all the patient statements, and this is finally the third patient, with a page break. So if you say print preview here, it's going to show you excuse me there, it's going to show you, see, here is the first patient statement. Go to the second page, you're going to see the second patient statement here. Okay, for the second patient, I mean, and for the third one. Okay, so and then you can just print these all out and mail them. Okay, so that's how you generate the patient statements. Basically, first find the balances, filter on the balances, find out which patient you actually want to send the statements to, and then generate the statements. Okay, now going back to this balance page, I'm just going to show you this particular flag, what I exactly mean by this. Okay, so let's go to the home page here. We're just going to find one particular patient here and say find patient, and I'm going to just open this patient here. Okay, and you will see here it says send patient statements. Okay, so this flag is set to no by default when we set up all your patients, but you can use it that way, so that you may not want to send patient statements to all your patients. You may just want to send patient statements to a select few, maybe cash patients, maybe to certain type of patients, and there you can just select yes for those. Okay, but this value which is there, which is yes, should match the value on the patient balances. Okay, so if you say yes here for certain patients, then when you say yes there, it's only going to pull up these patients here. Okay, so that's why initially, like I said, we have set it to no for all your patients in the database. Okay, and that is why when you go to the patient balances page, what I suggest is when you go when you go to the patient balances here, you need to make sure that this is also set to no, so this value of no matches that value, and you're able to see the balances for all your patients. Okay, so that's it. That's the patient statements. You find out the balances, filter them out whichever. Oh yeah, and of course you can actually find the balance for just one particular patient by selecting this. So instead of all your patients, you'll get, you can just select Burke or whatever, and you'll be able to basically just find the balance on that one particular patient. Okay, see, there you go, it just pulled up for this particular patient. Okay, and then you can, as usual, generate the statement, print it off. Okay, so that's the patient statement functionality right there. Okay.